Hey there, friends, it's Laurie. After a long, cold winter here in the Northeast, I am so excited to be sharing some Easter and spring DIYs. I used mostly Dollar Tree and Michael's supplies, along with a few things that I had on hand. And with that, let's get busy. I'm starting with one of the wooden chunk bunnies from the Dollar Tree. It measures about 8 inches tall and 6.5 inches wide. The bunny can face in either direction. I'm having mine face towards the right, and I removed the sticker on the back. I'm using some of the Dollar Tree brown paint and giving it a coat on both sides. I'm giving the bunny a crackled finish, and to do this, I'm using some Aleene's tacky glue. But you can always use Elmer's glue or even wood glue. I'll be cracking all of the sides, but I'm starting with the front of the bunny and adding on a generous amount of the glue. I'm now using my paintbrush and evenly spreading it onto the front and the sides of the bunny. The thickness of the glue will determine the amount of crackles. A thicker coat will be more dramatic, whereas a lighter coat will be less. The bottom of the bunny will be hidden, so I'm leaving that as is. Once I'm done, I'm letting the glue dry to the point that it has a light film over it. If you want to speed up the process, you can always use a hairdryer. I'm now painting the bunny with my second color, golden brown acrylic paint, and I'm making sure I cover all of the glue. Now that I'm done, all I need to do is sit back and watch it dry. Once the front of the bunny dried, I then followed the exact same instructions for the back, and now that I'm done, the crackle process is complete. I'm adding on an assortment of spring flowers, and these I had left over from past projects. For me, this is a great way to use them. I don't have anything planned. I'm just kind of randomly adding them around the bunny's neck, and when I'm done with the front, I'm then doing the same on the back. I'm using my glue gun to attach them, and I did keep my flowers all around the same size. This next step, it's completely optional. I had a few pieces of greenery left over, so I'm adding those onto the bunny as well. With my bunny complete, I'm now going to make the riser. I'm using an 8-inch wooden frame with the chalkboard in the center, and this came from Dollar Tree. I removed the hanger, and I'll be working on the back. I'm using 4 large wooden beads as the feet, but you can always use tumbling tower blocks. I added a dot of E6000 on each corner and then attached the wooden beads. When I was done, I gave them a couple of hours to set up. I'll be covering the hanger holes on my riser with moss, but in case you decide to do something different, an easy way to hide them is just fill them in with hot glue. You can paint your riser any color. I'm using sage green acrylic paint, and I'm painting the top and the bottom. Now that it's dry, I'm attaching the bunny to the riser, once again using my E6000. I'm adding on some of the reindeer moss from the Dollar Tree, but this step is completely optional. I added hot glue in front of the bunny. I did leave an opening in the very front because I will be adding on a sign, and then I attached the moss. I then finished up adding hot glue onto both sides and the back and covering the riser with the moss. I'm adding 3 Easter eggs as an accent onto the front of the bunny. I'm using 3 from this Temu pack, but you can find these at Michael's, Dollar Tree, Hobby Lobby, and I'm attaching them onto the bunny using my glue gun. To make the sign for my bunny, I'm first starting with 6 of the tumbling tower blocks. Using my E6000, I attached all 6 together. Now that they've dried and are attached, I'm giving them a coat of the same golden brown acrylic paint. With the paint dry, I'm giving it a crackle effect, so I'm adding on a coat of the Aleene's tacky glue. I waited for the glue to dry and have a slight film. Then I painted it with some white acrylic paint. When it dried just like the bunny, it had a crackled finish. I'm spelling out the word Easter, and I'm using some of these 3D stickers that I found at the Dollar Tree a while back. You can always paint directly on your sign, use wooden letters or stickers like myself. The backs are sticky, but to make sure they don't move out of place, I'm attaching them with my E6000. To finish up, I added some E6000 onto the bottom and then tucked it up next to that little lip on my riser. And now that I'm done, this cute bunny is ready for Easter. I'm popping in to say thank you so much for stopping by. If you're new to my channel, please consider clicking on that little red subscribe button below and leaving me a thumbs up. To all my returning friends, I think you are the absolute best, and I can't wait to chat with everyone down below in the comments. I'm getting started with a 7 by 9.5 inch wooden cross from the Dollar Tree. I removed the hanger and now I want to hide the hole, so I'm filling it in with some hot glue. I let the glue cool and now I'm painting it with some brown coffee bean acrylic paint. To accent the cross, you'll need 10 straight sticks, as straight as you can find them. Mine came from my pawpaw trees. I'm making sure the ends match up, getting my measurements, and then cutting them to size. They measure 7 inches across, and after I have my first one cut, I use that as a guide and then cut 4 more. I also cut 5 9-inch sticks, and these are the length of the cross. I'm using 2 9-inch pieces of floral wire to attach my 2 stick bunches together. I placed down the first piece of floral wire, found the spacing for my sticks, and then wrapped the wire around them tightly in the center. When I was done, I then cut off the excess wire. In addition to the wire, to help keep the sticks together, I am adding on some E6000 around the center of the bunch. Now that I'm done, I'm following the exact same instructions for the 9-inch sticks. With both bundles secured, I'm now letting the E6000 set up. I'm using a piece of sandpaper from the Dollar Tree, and I'm lightly sanding down the sides of the sticks to give them a rustic appearance. I also gently sanded the ends just to clean them up a bit. I'm now attaching the two bundles together in the sign of a cross using my E6000. I then used part of the container to help hold it in place. Now that it's set up, I'm going to attach it to the wooden cross once again using my E6000. I made sure it was centered properly and waited for the glue to set up. I want to hide the wire that's wrapped around the sticks, so I'm using some of the natural jute from the Dollar Tree. I placed a dot of hot glue onto the back of the cross and then attached one end of the jute. I gave it a few seconds to cool and then wrapped the jute around the cross at an angle 8 times. I made sure as I was wrapping it that I was covering the wire. When I was done on the back, I added some hot glue to help hold the jute in place. I then continued using the jute, crossing over the center of the cross in the same direction. I'm making sure I hold the jute firmly as I'm covering the wire. When I was done, I then hot glued that end to the back and cut off the tail of the jute. To make my hanger for the back, I'm cutting an 18-inch piece of jute and hot gluing down both ends. Now that I'm done, you can always hang the cross as is. I'm adding on a handful of white and purple flowers that I had on hand. I once again used my glue gun and attached them over the center of the cross. This was so easy and inexpensive to make, and I can't wait to hang this beautiful cross in my home. To start this DIY, you'll need one of the bunny cutouts from the Dollar Tree. I removed the hanger and now I'm trimming off the bunny's ears. I used an X-Acto knife and it was really quick to remove them. I'll be adding on some white bunny accents, so I gave it a coat of white acrylic paint. I'm using a pink and white gingham bunny ears headband from the Dollar Tree. I'm first cutting away the two sides, and then I'm cutting the two ears free. I added some hot glue to the top of the bunny's ears and then attached the two from the headband. I'm adding on a bunny face sticker, and I found mine at Temu. They sent 4 sheets and it cost me $3.83. They were all super cute, but I picked my favorite, and to add it, all I did was peel off the back film and attach it onto the bunny. I'm adding 2 pink daisies, one on each of the bunny's ears, and I'm attaching them with some hot glue. To make the bunny's feet, you can always paint them on. I'm going to use 6 small wooden circles, 2 medium wooden hearts. These all came from Michael's, and I'm using a small heart for the bunny's nose. I already had this on hand. I used some pretty pink acrylic paint, and I gave them all a coat. I used my E6000 and attached the smallest heart onto the bunny's nose. I then attached the other wooden pieces and made the bunny's feet. You can find different colors of the bunny headbands at the Dollar Tree. I chose to keep my bunny with a pink theme, but I think you could change up the colors and it would look just as cute. I'm giving the bunny a coat of matte Mod Podge. I'm painting everything but the bunny's face and ears. I'm using this pretty green ribbon from the Dollar Tree to accent the bunny's neck. I first found my measurement, then cut it to size, then using my glue gun I attached both ends onto the back. I'm making the bunny hands, and I'm using the 2 pieces that I originally cut off of the headband. I'm folding them in half, making sure that the 2 sides are touching each other. Then I attach them with my hot glue. I made both of them, and you can attach the hands anywhere you'd like. I'm placing mine just under the green ribbon and hot gluing the ends onto the back. I'm adding on a sign, and I'm using a wooden Hello Spring cutout. I picked this up at Michael's. I'm painting the hello in the same pink color as the bunny's accents and the spring in this pretty sage green acrylic paint. After giving it a coat of the matte Mod Podge, I used my E6000 and attached it onto the front of the bunny. I'm adding one more accent to the bunny, and using the same ribbon, I'm making a simple bow. I cut the ends off at an angle and attached it with some hot glue. To finish up, I cut a 24-inch piece of the same green ribbon and I added it onto the back as the hanger. This was so easy and inexpensive to make, and I think it's the perfect addition to my spring and Easter decor. Can you believe it? We're finally at the end of the video, and I really hope you had fun crafting with me. If you're new here, don't forget to click that little red subscribe button below, and I will leave a ton of different craft ideas at the end of this video. My wish for each of you is to have a safe, a happy, and an amazing day. And until next time, bye everybody!